A good ride, avoiding reality part-time since 2006 and full-time since 2010.
159 BSOD.
So this, good readers, is the review, the good ride review of the Capita Black Snowboard to Death 159 in comparison to the Mercury. Look at that. Mercury 157, and that's kind of a perfect fit. Like, you want to size up a little bigger on the Black Snowboard to Death. You can kind of see it's directional, but it's not super directional. It doesn't want to like it's kind of lives in that world between like a free ride board and an all mountain board. Like, that is the perfect definition of an all mountain board. It's kind of like directional twinish kind of shape, with the setback on board and side cut. You can take it switch either way. This is kind of more of a directional shape, but it's still almost a double ender. It only has just a little bit of taper, like a millimeter or two, and you know, in the tail width versus the nose width. And it's something you can take switch really well. This has a little bit more setback on board and a little bit more of a directional camber profile. It's got like flat to camber to rocker, like kind of like, and this is camber between the feet to rocker at each end, and it seems almost symmetrical. Or symmetrical. So, you know, this has more of that directional drivey kind of, you know, kind of an aggressive, just a touch more aggressive feel, even though they say this is like a 6.5 out of 10 flex wise, and this is a 7 out of 10. It felt almost exactly the same, and it's just softened up. It's almost exactly the same shape as last year, but it's just a touch softer. I think it was like a 7 last year, and now it's like a 6.5. They just mellowed it out a little bit. They didn't go anywhere near taking it back to what it used to be before they upgraded to this shape and flex. It used to be super soft. It was like a freestyle twin with like this like even more directional like free ride look, and it was just really weird. It was like, it was fun to butter and play around with. But you look at that shape and you think, God, I want to do some drivey, aggressive turns. And then you get on it and it's not ready to do that. You know, now it rides like it looks. It rides like an older school all mountain board. Like, that was like almost a double ender. You know, nose is longer than the tail a little bit. You know, there's more going on. It's got a more directional side cut, it seems like. And you know, their whole play on the old boards when everybody was all like gnarly and death metal-y and weird, and you know, they made fun of that with the Black Snowboard to Death, and I think it's great. But yeah, I think the base is fast, it's smooth, it's definitely for some reason less easier to butter than like the Mercury, didn't you feel?
Yeah, it's got a lot of pop off the tail. This tail seems like really stiff.
Yeah, and that flat in the tail didn't really seem to fuck with the turning radius either. Like, sometimes boards that go like camber to flat to rocker or camber to flat seem to mess with the radius of the side cut, like the way it engages on a turn. This didn't do that. Both of these were set up on the reference stance. We both rode Adidas Tactical. I rode Adidas Tactical ADV. You rode SLXs. Put them on Union Atlases. Such a fun board. It's like, it's one of those boards I recommend, but it's not quite a favorite, but it could be your favorite, and it's very recommendable, especially if you favor, like, if you want something like the Mercury, but you want a little more directional float in powder, you see more good snow and you see more powder, and you like setting it back as far as you can in powder, then this is probably going to be the one. Check the on the table review to see you know, to see the camber profile and the setback on board and all that. But yeah, you like the Mercury better, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
I like riding directional, but I found the Mercury was I don't know, a little more forgiving. I like turning the Mercury better. Definitely like the death grip. That's kind of
that really helps.
helps a lot.
Helps
but
a
yeah,
lot,
it's a great board. Again, lots of pop off the tail. I like that feature. So
Yeah, I liked making directional carvy turns on this and the soft snow much better than I did the Mercury.
yeah,
But the Mercury just felt like better to do a little bit of everything, to like butter, to ride switch, to you know, like to get some grip. It's still carved pretty well, but this is definitely more, if you're more of a good snow carver, you really want more driving, more aggressive directional turning. Both are pretty quick edge to edge, and this 59 is pretty wide. I can't remember, but it's like mid 25s I think is the waist width, so it kind of almost worked with your reduced footprint 11 Burton boots.
yeah.
I'd probably go for you if you were gonna really like, if you like this board and you wanted it, I'd probably size up, like go
61?
to yeah, I think it's a 62, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would probably be a better fit for your boot size, but it would probably be a caveat on, like, yeah, you need reduced footprint 11s to really make that work the best. 'Cause
Right.
it's not technically really like a mid-wide, but you know, 11s, 10s to 11s would work really well with the, you know, 10s, 9s and 10s I think are pretty good with, 9 to 10 is pretty good with the 59 and the 56. And then 10 to 11 is more like 62, you know, 65
Right.
kind of thing. But all in all, it's a really fun board, and there's nothing really I don't like about it except for maybe the edge hold. But I know a lot of people don't like disrupted side cuts, and they'd rather have a board that doesn't grip as well because they just like that smooth feel. They don't like anything that grabs in like medium to soft snow, and that's all they ride. Then this is one of those boards that you really love. So there you have it. That's the you know, black snowboard to death.